As the PS4 and Xbox One generation comes to an end, I think it's time we discuss which sports games that released on these consoles were the best. And if we're being honest, this was probably the worst generation ever for the traditional sports game. With a major lack of competition, a hyper-focus on loot-box-style microtransactions, and stagnation across the board, games like NBA 2K, Madden, FIFA, and MLB The Show all felt like disappointments, especially over the last few years. That said, however, not all sports games have to be traditional. In fact, some games are so innovative, they invent completely new sports. Meet Rocket League, a game that is basically soccer with cars.
They've got the kick off in their favour. Kato tries to clear. It is almost there. It just has to hit the floor. Violet Panda puts it a long way. And it's almost there. Justin keeps it alive. Turner Postle there. Bounces into the corner. Energy still around. Justin is there for the shot. Justin! Justin! This is Rocket League!
The rules are simple: knock the ball into the opposing team's goal more times than they knock it into yours before time expires. On the surface, the game appears to be very simple, like a dumbed-down version of FIFA, when instead it is very complex and an incredibly unique game. To become a great player, you have to spend hours upon hours in free practice. Techniques like dribbling, flip resets, and aerial goals are only possible after hundreds of hours of practice. Like any sport, it's easy to start playing, but incredibly tough to master. To me, the most important part of a sports game is gameplay, and Rocket League has some of the most unique and innovative gameplay of any sports game ever. Cars can collect boosts on the track, and players can use the boost to either go faster or fly through the air by jumping and tilting their car. The physics-based gameplay allows for players to have complete control over their cars, and this separates less skilled players like myself from the top players. The ranking system is actually fair, and instead of going up against a 99 overall team as a 60 overall team, like you would an Ultimate Team in FIFA or Madden for example, you are matched with people of similar skill with a 100% even playing field. One of the most important parts of sports is teamwork. And yeah, I know that sounds a little cringe, but it's true. Rocket League is one of the few sports games to actually incorporate legitimate teamwork. In FIFA or Madden, you control an entire team by yourself. And while those games do have modes where you can have other players on your team controlling specific players, the animation-based gameplay and lack of complete user control weighs the experience down. In Rocket League, you and your teammate have full control over the outcome of the game. Rotation strategies, skill level, defense, passing, and playmaking are all incredibly important, and a teammate's skill level can change your entire strategy. The better you communicate with your teammate, the better you will do, but of course, if you are incredibly talented, you could carry lesser skilled teammates to victory by doing everything yourself. There's this weird idea going around that if you dislike a game, it's just because you are bad at it. I get so many comments on my Madden videos saying that I only hate the game because I'm not good at it. This is a terrible mindset to have. For example, I am not a very good Rocket League player. I am pretty much always sitting at around gold 2 or 3, I've hit platinum a few times due to being carried by better teammates. If you compare my gameplay to that of pro players, the jump is massive. But despite not being good at Rocket League, I can recognize that it is a good game, and I can have a ton of fun playing it. When I lose, it's not because of some stupid glitch or animation, or because someone paid to have better players than me, it's because of how I played the game. My rotations with my teammate, my hits on the ball, my accuracy controlling my car in the air. You don't need to be a pro player to recognize if a game is good or not, and I really wish this toxic idea would die off. The problem with most sports video game franchises is that they make for poor competitive experiences. Madden, for example, has a huge competitive scene, but the game unfortunately has a super large paywall to compete, and the actual gameplay is full of RNG out of the player's control. This is mostly due to how animation-based sports games are today, and how every outcome is one of a few animations being triggered. The best part about Rocket League is how the game is completely physics-based. You can't get sucked into another car, or watch as other players glitch or get stuck in uncontrollable chained animations. Instead, every outcome in Rocket League is 100% in your control, resulting in a legitimate skill gap. If you lose a game of 1v1, you have no one to blame but yourself, or lag. There is absolutely no way a new player will beat a pro player in Rocket League, yet neither team starts with any advantage given by the game. While different cars have different hitboxes, every player starts with cars of every hitbox available to them. Compared to an Ultimate Team or My Team type of mode, which most sports games use for their competitive scene, there is no need to grind or pay thousands of dollars for better players. With Rocket League, matches are decided only because of user skill. Matchmaking is similar to online shooters. There are casual matches with MMR, and ranked matches where you start as unranked and work your way from bronze to grand champion. The game also has a basketball and hockey mode, along with Rumble, which is basically traditional Rocket League with power-ups that add an RNG element to the game. This is fun to play, but Rocket League esports typically sticks to the traditional soccer gameplay. There is also Drop Shot, which is pretty hard to explain but shown on the screen now. Each one of these game modes takes hundreds of hours to master. Rocket League isn't just this generation's best sports game because of its gameplay and game modes. The business model behind the game actually makes sense and doesn't prey on the consumer like other games. Originally $20, Rocket League is now free to play. The microtransactions in the game are only for cosmetics, and you can still earn cosmetics for free by playing the game. It has a system similar to Fortnite's Battle Pass, which works really well for the game. This is how all sports games should be, in my opinion. Instead of charging $60 only to force players to spend thousands more on packs to have a competitive team, give everyone the ability to choose whatever cards and players they want from the start, and offer cosmetics in the game store to unlock things such as uniforms, helmets, balls, stadiums, etc. That way, everyone has an equal chance to compete, and the skill gap is the true separator, not players' wallets. Now, Rocket League isn't perfect. It could have a much better offline experience to help get new players ready for online play, and the Epic Games acquisition caused a lot of players to turn sour towards the game, from dropping Linux and Mac support to replacing the crate system with the new and more expensive Blueprint system. That said, when compared to every other major sports game out there, and with how online-centric sports games have become, no sports game is as ready for esports as Rocket League. The gameplay is fair, balanced, and has a legit skill gap, resulting in a very rewarding experience. While the traditional sports titles have seemingly all gotten worse over the past decade, the door opened for new, unique ideas to come to life, and Rocket League took advantage and has become one of the most popular video games in the entire world. It is a legitimately good game, which is something you can't really say about any $60 major sports video game that has released in the past few years. Thanks for watching.